Wednesday night, May 25th. It is the Wrestling Inc. podcast around the world. You know what that means. It's Wednesday night, May 25th. I'm just LaBar. He's Jimmy Korderas. Double J, ain't we great? Thanks for joining us live if you're doing so across all the platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Periscope. We love it. We love that we have the live chat room already lit up and rowdy, ready to go. And then if you're listening to us or watching us after the fact, well, that works out too. Glad you found some time to let us into your day. Jimmy, how are you this evening, sir?
No, I'm doing not bad. I actually pretty stacked and loaded. Go home to Double or Nothing on their 3rd anniversary.
Yes, yeah. I mean, just on paper, when I was looking at what they're promoting on social media and what they have, I mean, you know, I think it was like 7 major things that they were focusing around, whether either matches or showdowns on the mic, and you know, 7 things for a 2-hour show. Is really, I mean, that's good, but I mean, you just got to work it all in. They did. I don't think their time was quite as, it didn't feel as rushed tonight. It felt like they had a pretty good pacing and placement of everything, which we'll talk about it all and get feedback and get your thoughts in there. But today begins their residency in Vegas. They're in Vegas here for the remainder of the week with Dynamite tonight, Rampage on Friday. They have they're doing a fan fest, and then of course it topped off with Double or Nothing on Sunday. So a big week for the company turning 3 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was back in the day, I had a little issue with gambling, so Vegas was always a nice stop for me, but at times not so nice.
See, I'm a casino's least favorite person. Well, actually, I'm not the least. I guess the least favorite person would be somebody who doesn't spend any money. But I actually have really good self-discipline with gambling. Or maybe it's greed. If I win big, like if I win like $500 or something, I might go and put it in and have like a nice, go to the steakhouse, have a nice dinner, but I'm walking away. I'm not going to put 500 back into the table of the machine. So
no, it's just winning wasn't an issue for me. When I won, it was cool, but when I wasn't winning, it was like I got to get it back. It's that old gambler's kind of thing going on. Luckily, I'm cured of smoking and gambling and all that kind of stuff, so I'm good. The only thing up here in Canada, we have sports lottery, believe it or not. So, every once in a while I'll play what we call up here a pro line ticket and have a little fun.
That's right. You used to be a smoker. You said you cured smoking. You're no longer a smoker?
No, and then after I stopped smoking cigarettes, it was the occasional cigar and stuff like that. And even that now, I just does nothing for me.
I'm sure you've had a couple times where you had your cigarette lit and you ran into the old big boss who hates cigarettes, huh?
Oh my goodness! That hiding from Vince was the hardest thing. We couldn't all be Pat Patterson and just have a cigarette around. But I remember one time, it was one of the first times I went to TV, and it was in San Francisco, and I was staying at the TV hotel. And back in those days, you could smoke. You couldn't smoke in the elevator, but you could smoke in the hallway. They had that big ashtray thing in front of the doors. Remember the elevator doors? So I'm having a cigarette and I'm taking the last drag as the elevator bing. I take in an inhale and I'm ready to put my cigarette out. The door's open. There's Vince standing with Hulk and Brian Blair. And I'm like, now I've got this smoke in my mouth and I don't know what to do. I'm frozen and come on in, and I'm like, oh no. So now I'm trying to blow it all out and stuff like that. And all the way down, I'm standing right beside Vince, and I'm standing between Vince and Hulk. And Vince wasn't mad, but he was giving me the anti-smoking lecture. You know what I mean? It's bad for your health. This is a business where you need your cardio and blah, blah. He's going on, he's doing a whole spiel. And while he's doing it, I'm getting these little nudge elbows in the side ribs from Hulk. So while he's talking to me, I'm yes, sir, and yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, "You okay?" I said, "No, I'm fine." And and Hulk's giving me the little jabs, and oh boy, I thought for sure I wouldn't be coming to TV anymore, but thankfully he forgave me.
Something else got on his radar and took his attention away.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the smoker PSA from Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Yeah. Callie Robertson, $1.99. Thank you, Callie. She says hello to my favorite duo.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you, Callie. Appreciate you.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy and I having a good week. We had the trio with Raj on Monday, and now we're down to a duo here tonight on Wednesday. And again, don't, just like Callie did, if you want to do a super chat, just send on in. That will guarantee you to, definitely getting on the show to be the third man or third woman when the time comes for your topic. Headlock Heel says, Jimmy, thank you for all your work. Refs don't get the recognition they deserve.
Oh, I appreciate it. And sometimes, you know what? It's not about the recognition we deserve. It's, you know, as long as the right people in the right places, if you know what I mean, understand the referee's worth. You know, it's not people technically don't buy a ticket to see us count to 3, but at the same time, you're part of the package anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a job, like we said, when you're supposed to be invisible, but yet if you truly are invisible and you're not out there doing your job, things can go haywire. So it's
exactly it's a fine line between, like you said, being invisible until you need to be visible and being overly visible. Yeah.
Very good. One of the best. Jimmy Korderas with us. All right, Jimmy, let's talk a little news. We got one big news headline we want to talk about, and that's going to transition us in nicely for what the opening of Dynamite was, and it's all about an opponent for Wardlow. This report coming from Fightful Select that while we saw W. Morrissey, of course, the former Big Cass on the May 4th edition of Dynamite, be an opponent of Wardlow, one of the hired guns from MJF, Fightful Select's reported that actually before Morrissey, there was a tentative plan for that to be Killer Kross. Of course, he was known as Karrion Kross in NXT most recently, and it turns out that basically that the idea was to have Kross come out in that same role, but then Kross, when he found out that Scarlett would not be with him, his wife, that he kind of put a pause in that, kind of feeling that this would be too similar to how fans last saw him in the very brief run when he got up to Raw when he was solo, and he feels that his presentation with he and Scarlett, how it was in NXT where they had success, that's like I said, they're going to appear on national TV on TBS. That's how they want to appear, and so plans fell through. But again, according to the report, no real bad blood between either side. It was just creative differences, and let's try again later. So, Jimmy, what do you make of the news that Killer Kross was that close to appearing on AEW television?
Yeah, it's very interesting, and the interesting story is that I'm almost like of two minds here. On one side, I'm glad that he stuck to his guns and said, "Hey, this is what I'd like to present. This is what I think I could deliver." And especially having Scarlett by my side, I think this is a great package. Getting both of us in, part of it is probably sticking up for his wife as well, which you got to commend the guy for. But at the same time, the match against Wardlow, I don't see him going over in that match, and him just being a strong opponent for Wardlow to defeat. At the same time, you only get one chance to make a first impression.
You took the words right out for me.
So you know what I mean? So I have to give him credit for sticking to his guns and picking his spot. And it sounds like because there is no animosity between the two sides, from what I understand. It's just like you said, creative differences. There's always a chance to work together again. And I think maybe he did it respectfully and he did it in the right way where people could say, yes, I think we can work with this guy.
Yeah, and he's a very well-spoken individual anyways. I'm talking about the man behind Killer Kross, not necessarily his character. Well, his character is actually pretty well-spoken too. Yeah. But he's a good communicator, so I don't have any doubt to that part of the report that no animosity, because he probably just did it the right way. But I agree. You only get one chance to make a first impression. So even if that AEW appearance would have been individual, it would have been what it was. Maybe he disappears in for a couple weeks and then he comes back into the fold and they introduce him regularly. Still, he's already made his debut in AEW. The fans have already seen him, and by the logic that it is there. You only get one chance, and if you know that the presentation that you had with Scarlett and that's what connected the best with the fans on the biggest platform you've been on with NXT, and that's how you want to come in to AEW if you ever are, hold your ground. And then, by the way, you're going to lose too. So, and what did he do to Jeff Hardy? He lost to Jeff Hardy as much a big, so I get it. I get it. And I'm a huge Killer Kross fan. He's one of the ones on that, massive release list that WWE's had in the last couple of years. He's probably, I think the only other person I could think top the list that's not there is Rotunda, is the man Bray Wyatt, just because they're just so creative and so must see that I have a feeling like Tony Khan would just kind of let them run a little free and let's see what we can get out of it. But I'm glad that he did not take, he being Kross, did not take up on this opportunity, because it would have been an opportunity to be seen. But yeah. It would have not been the best first impression in AEW.
No, totally agree with that. And here's the other thing too. I know some people are going to say, try to compare it to the recent happenings going on in WWE, and we all know what they're talking about because they keep mentioning it on TV all the time with Sasha and Naomi. But it's not the same thing. This is an opportunity again. Yes, creative differences, but he handled it. It sounds like in a professional manner, and that's, it is what it is. And,
that's all you can do.
And hats off to him for doing it that way.
Yeah, I don't think this will be the last phone call he'll be fielding from AEW. I have a feeling they'll make it work.
Yeah, there's money there. There is money there.
Yes, absolutely. And there's money there with a guy like a Killer Kross and a Wardlow. You just need a whole lot of story behind it. You don't just give the people that as a one-off as being a hired gun from MJF. So,
right.
Very good there. MNEC, Justin, how's your stomach after the cheap shot gore by Rhino? Justice for LaBar. I'm better than I was on Saturday. We teased it and talked about it towards the end on Monday's podcast. Raj asked if there was footage. I said at that time Monday night, no, I didn't have footage I could release. We have footage.
Yes.
But I'm gonna wait. For those of you who are hanging on to the end of the podcast, once we're done Dynamite, if you're still here, I will show you. It's like 10 or 11 seconds. I will show you a little bit of footage. So if you're still hanging on, you can check that out. But that's going to takes a backseat after we talk about AEW Dynamite.
If I can say one thing about it, because I have seen the video, it's worth sticking around and waiting to see it. Trust me.
It's it's as painful as it looks.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, let's get in to Dynamite. So we talk about Wardlow there and his opponent being W. Morrissey some weeks back. He's still on that gauntlet to get his hands on MJF this Sunday. But in order to do that, here's the final hurdle. It's what we kick off the night with. MJF gets to be the special referee inside of a steel cage match with Wardlow up against Shawn Spears. Wardlow cannot touch MJF. But of course, MJF is the law. He's the man wearing the stripes. So he gets to do whatever he wants. So it is essentially a 2-1 handicap match where Wardlow can only fight back to one of them. So a lot of psychology going on here. And a lot of I'm going to call them chapters or mile markers in this. So I'll just kind of run them down, and then we'll look at the whole thing. First off, MJF reminded me of Shawn Michaels SummerSlam '97 with the biker shorts and the skimpy ref shirt.
The Schmedium?
The Schmedium.
The Schmedium cutoff shirt. Ref shirt.
Schmedium.
Yes.
Schmedium, not a size, and the Manscaped new boxers, by the way. It's not Schmedium not there. Get more back on that here in a second. All right, so Spears is out there, MJF's out there. Wardlow, of course, getting his security entourage. He's handcuffed. Keep in mind that. And he gets in the ring, and where the referee should be unlocking the handcuffs, MJF just can't find the key, Jimmy.
Conveniently can't find the key. And you know what? The whole situation, I don't want to wrap this up in a package just yet, but this is one rivalry that I think they're doing right. Absolutely right. They're getting me invested in this. This is one of the matches that I'm most looking forward to Sunday at the pay-per-view. But MJF just he gets it.
Yeah,
he gets it. Like we said before, outside of Long Island, New York, he gets booed everywhere he goes. And in a day and an age where it's cool to be the bad guy, he's making it uncool to be the bad guy, and he's doing it right, and he knows what he's doing. And hats off to him, because, like I said, people are very much looking forward to this on Sunday.
And look, it's fresh water, because, like you said, he's really one of the only ones in the business on the level, on the platform that he is, that's doing that. I mean,
there's just too many guys out there that want to be the cool heel. They see, because they look back and they see The Rock back in the day, they see the Austins and stuff like that, and they say, well, it worked for them, but you know what? It worked for Piper too, and Piper wasn't liked by anybody.
Right. Well, and MJF constantly draws to Piper. He Piper's the guy who he kind of seems to market himself after. So it all makes sense.
Yep.
Well, he can't find the key, so Wardlow is going to have this match, because Spears just starts to attack him. So Wardlow's now handcuffed with Spears putting some boots into him. MJF starts putting some boots into him. So there's the handicap match portion of it. Wardlow's still able to get a little bit of offense. Is able to backdrop Spears, able to still kick Spears. MJF is now staring face to face at Wardlow, thinks that he's, again, untouchable because Wardlow can't touch him and Wardlow's handcuffed, spits in Wardlow's face, and Wardlow, through his strength, breaks the handcuffs. And now the monster has broken out of his shackles, so to speak. MJF, obviously stunned. Wardlow, giving some offense to Spears. MJF goes to count, refuses to count as Wardlow pins him. Again, Wardlow continues. We get a sequence of where MJF gives the ball shot to Wardlow. Then Spears hits the C4, and it's a fast count. And even all of that, Wardlow still kicks out before the fast 3 count can be done. So now frustration really setting into all of them. Spears goes to hit Wardlow with the chair. Wardlow moves, and Spears nails MJF with the chair. A chair headshot, by the way, which you don't see that too often anymore in the major leagues, from what we, just for obvious reasons. So MJF is now out for the count. Tremendous camera work by AEW production. I got to give them credit for the cameraman being positioned, for the director for holding it and not cutting away or anything, and then everybody. Spears, after he nails the MJF with the chair, Spears is just on his knees in shock, realizes what the situation is, and as Spears is here, this is where you need to be watching, and this not be an audio podcast. And the camera's looking at Spears. Wardlow just rises up behind him, just stands and towers over. It's a tremendous visual that just sums up the moment. Ultimately, Wardlow is going to hit 4 power bombs. The 4th one will be on top of a steel chair, and because MJF is out cold, we need a referee. So here comes Bryce Remsburg. He comes out. He counts the 1, 2, 3. Wardlow is the winner, and Wardlow then wants to try to get his hands on an unconscious MJF, and then here comes all the security, who he just plows through. So Wardlow will get his match Sunday against MJF. Jimmy, give me the reaction to this opener here.
No, I enjoyed it. It told the right story. I mean, you can get critical and say, wow, you know what? He barely kicked out of that, out of Spears' finisher. Why didn't he count 3 anyways? Because he was the referee. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. But you know what? They told a hell of a story. And like you said, the chair shot looked incredible. That visual, like you said, of him rising up behind Spears was great. But I like the ending as well, as MJF is like crawling up the ramp backwards and looking back towards the ring, and having Wardlow climb up the cage and standing up in the corner and looking at him and pointing at him and saying, "This Sunday, it's your time." It just, again, told a great story. Yep. You got me. You got me.
Yep. Sold. I mean, again, I stood by it last week. I stand by it still, even though there were some other matches that definitely did their part to sell you for Sunday. But this is the number one thing I'm looking forward to from the show. It's the longest running story. It's a story that's been going for 2 years, well, more than 2 years, really. Right. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I always appreciate that. And then of course, AEW, it's worth mentioning, they have that open, and they do go to the commentary desk in a very serious and sincere tone, where the commentators, Jim Ross, just giving their thoughts and prayers to, of course, everybody after the terrible shooting that happened at the elementary school in Texas. So I wasn't sure that AEW would do that, but I thought it was done very classy, and JR had just the right amount to say to that.
Exactly. And it is a tragedy, and it's terrible what happened. And like you said, thoughts and prayers go to all the families affected by this.
So we fade to black, go to commercial. We come back. We see Jericho and the Jericho Appreciation Society strolling on through, talking about how, hey, even if they're sports entertainment, they can still be violent. And they stop by an AEW crew member, and Jericho throws a fireball in his face, reminding you that he's a wizard.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's I love the fact that not only are they doing the whole sports entertainment thing, which is a dirty word when you talk about pro wrestling to the fans that have bought into the AEW product. And Jericho, that's the brilliance of Jericho. He knows that's something that doesn't sit well with that audience, that rubs them the wrong way. And if he's going to be a heel and get booed and have them to stop singing his entrance music and stuff like that, he's got to do stuff like that. And he knows that. And that's why he is who he is, one of the best ever.
One of the best ever. Well, if you're talking about one of the best ever, we got to be talking about Manscaped. Gentlemen, Father's Day, it's just around the corner, and our friends at Manscaped are here to ensure all the father figures out there looking daddy material this June. Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0 includes a signature lawnmower 4.0, is the perfect bundle to tackle any and all old man hair from head to toe. This right here is no dad joke, okay? No dad joke here. Treat him and yourself and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. As we talk about it all the time, it's still the case. Get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com when you use the code WINC20. Manscaped, it's designed with fathers in mind, and the Performance Package 4.0 is just in here in time for your Pops' special day. Inside the package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, the Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all of his goodies. They got plenty of great stuff. I mean, I just named them there. I just got a new shipment in. It comes in beautiful packaging too. I got some of the new boxers. This is just one of the mini type. My wife was actually just saying, she's like, I love the feel of those boxers. And well, and she does the laundry too, so she feels she feel the boxers. Great packaging here. I love this. The ultra smooth package. I mean, we got the crop exfoliator, the crop gel. We got replacement blades. It comes in this nice little packaging.
Cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Cool.
I mean, just top of the line stuff. And again, you're going to get free shipping and save 20% by using the code just for being a fan of this podcast. And again, let me say that the Lawnmower 4.0, I mean, that is the champion of their entire empire. The Lawnmower 4.0, it is the official MVP of Father's Day. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof, also has the 400K LED spotlight. Does your dad use the same trimmer for his body and his face? Let's throw that out the window and give him the upgrade he deserves. But wait, there is more. Manscaped just launched the brand new Boxers 2.0 that I dare say are the best ever, as I just pointed out. We all know dads love the comfort. With summer just around the corner, the Boxers 2.0 are here to save every father from the uncomfortable heat down there below the belt. These new boxers packed with revolutionary features, including the jewel pouch designed to cradle his boys in their own special space. This right here is a game changer. Whether he's mowing the lawn, taking out the trash, or golfing in the sun, these moisture-wicking boxers breathe without breaking a sweat. Dads, buy this for yourself. Sons, buy this for you and your dad. Ladies, buy this for your man. And dog daddies, you deserve this treat too. So, again, manscaped.com. Go there, use the code WINC20, save 20%, plus get free shipping. Really, like I said, sons, daughters, wives. I'm sure you got a man in your life that you want to celebrate on Father's Day. This is the perfect. These are all the perfect options, and you can go to whichever one. All of them I just said, one of them, whatever the case may be. But do it and save 20% and get free shipping using the code WINC20. And we thank them, as always, for the wonderful support of this podcast.
That's awesome, man. And trust me, coming from a Greek, I can vouch for what Manscaped, how good it is and how useful it is. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, very good. Again, brand new boxers.
Cool.
One of several designs they sent in. Good stuff. All right, back to the good stuff. Here's one of the best things coming from the show here. We get Hangman Adam Page in the ring with Tony Schiavone moderating and CM Punk as well. Of course, Punk challenging for the AEW World Title this Sunday at Double or Nothing. And Punk says Page is taking this all too personal, Jimmy. This is just a matter of Page is the world champion and Punk wants to be the world champion. Page, though, takes a far more, again, personal, serious tone, saying he almost pities Punk. And he doesn't respect anything that Punk has done since coming to AEW. He's not defending the AEW World Title against Punk. He's defending All Elite Wrestling against Punk. And then Punk fires back and says, look, those roads that you rode to get here, I paved those roads. This house that you say you built it with lumber of woods, of trees that I chopped down. Talk about some metaphors here, Jimmy. This is I mean, this was a hell of a back and forth, and the crowd, Page the more antagonistic, but the crowd still, some of them still chanting cowboy shit, some of them still chanting CM Punk. So this seems like Vegas is committed to being a split crowd for this match on Sunday.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and it, which is usually unusual for a world championship match, that there isn't a clear babyface and a clear heel. Both have been garnering positive and negative reactions from the audience. I thought this segment was awesome as well. I thought it really hit all the notes it needed to hit. My only issue with this, and this is again nitpicking and being the little things as we talk about, is the placement on the show of this, because this is the AEW World Heavyweight Championship we're talking about. This match is being looked forward to by many people, but having it placed after a killer opening like that, and then after a fireball segment, and then what came afterwards, right after that, they went into, this deserved to be in a place where it was highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong. I thought opening the show with the cage match was great, but maybe this could have opened the show because it is that important, or at least, close the show. And I get it. The tournament is a huge thing as well. We'll get to that later. But at the same time, this is your AEW World Heavyweight. Even if it was the top of the 9 o'clock hour, the second hour.
Yeah.
To open up that second hour. I just felt the placement of this great segment was a detriment.
I agree. After seeing the 2 hours unfold, I agree. Where it was placed, it was put, quite frankly. I mean, obviously you want to, if you're a promoter, if you're the guy running the show, excuse me, you believe in all of your content. You're not going to put out there and waste your TV time with something that's bad. But as with anything, there's things that are going to rank from best to worst. And so traditionally in a wrestling show, where this was positioned is normally where you try to put stuff that maybe you might deem a little more expendable, or let's see if the people need to come down for a minute, or they need a bathroom break, or that's just what it is. It was a second thing on the night, basically. And usually match number 2 on a card is just kind of it brings you down a little bit.
Exactly, because a card has to have ebbs and flows to it. It can't be all up here, because if it's all up here, there's no, your emotions don't change, so to speak. And
that's kind of but I got to say, I've had that critique more weeks than not recently with Dynamite. There's stuff that I love on the show, but I do question, like, why do they end with that, or why did they start? I agree. I almost wonder now, again, hindsight being 2020, and we have that ability. Tony Khan doesn't. We know how things came off. We know what really hit. I understand putting the 2 semifinal Owen Hart matches as the last 2 things to highlight their importance. However, I could also make the argument for, look, I can also make the argument you put them on the front of the show, so that way you get a winner for each of them, so you know who's in the finals, and you have the remainder of the rest of the show to hype that up, versus only having 1 minute as Dynamite goes off the air to tell you that it's Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe. Now, I'm sure they will hammer it away on social and Rampage or whatever, but I just think that would make more sense. And then put the Wardlow thing last, put the cage match last. And yes, that match also was going to determine if Wardlow has his match at Sunday. But I think the audience kind of knew, they know they're going to get the Wardlow. They just want to see how are we going to get there. We didn't know if Kyle O'Reilly or Samoa Joe was going. We didn't know if Britt or Tony. Like there's a legit suspense there. So I don't know. That's just kind of my philosophy. And I would put Hangman and Punk smack dab in the middle.
Yeah. Like I said, the crossover to the second hour is important. As important as the beginning and the end as well. So there's so many spots that could have been put that would have helped that situation a lot better and made it feel that much more important. Like I said, where it was placed didn't make it feel as a priority for Sunday.
And it should be. It should be. And I should know too, I didn't say this. So eventually through the tensions rising, and Punk even pushing Page did throw a strike at Punk. So that was the first time I think they've touched. And Punk kind of laughed and was like, he's kind of mind tricking Hangman Page. So this, I'll tell you what, this last couple of weeks, I wasn't sure. I thought this did a great job of really bringing the energy back up into their battle Sunday. Yeah,
and we also got to see a little bit more out of Adam Page as well. Hangman showed a little bit more personality and was a little more, for lack of a better term, had a little more oomph on the mic.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see. But again, I hate to go back to it, but again, where it was on the card, will people remember that?
Yeah. Well, time will tell. We'll see how things start to measure in terms of fan engagement and how things resolve. Bernie in DC, definitely Justin Cage match lasts with Wardlow staring down at MJF as the show ended would have been an amazing visual. Yeah, that would have been that would have been good. But again, hindsight 2020, we have the ability to,
exactly.
We have the ability to Monday morning quarterback. So that's what we do.
Yep.
All right. Up next, we got Regal. He is on commentary as he tends to do now every week. We get Eddie Kingston and John Moxley coming through the crowd. They're getting ready for their match against Private Party. Jericho Appreciation Society also at the commentary desk. So it's like a 12-person commentary scene. This is gonna see a paradigm shift from Moxley. He hits that while Kingston's got the other member of Private Party tapping out, and then immediately it's like Braveheart. All parties just converge at the ramp, and all hell breaks loose. Santana and Ortiz and Bryan Danielson, they join the fray. So this was really a very abbreviated. All right, boys. Sunday you got a match. It's just Anarchy with all of you guys. Just go out there and just have a little mini Anarchy real quick.
Yeah. Again, maybe a little bit too much of that. I think, and we see a lot of this in AEW, and I wish we'd see a little bit less of this. And I've talked about this before of trying to put 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag. It seems that there's a lot of extracurricular activity happening after matches too often on Wednesday nights. It's yes, I get it. It's a 2-hour show. You've got an abundance of talents that you're trying to showcase, but at the same time, when you try to cram that too much in, and basically the aftermath happening far too often, it doesn't make you feel as special anymore. You almost expect it after every match.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair point. I mean, I even go to the point of, did you even need to have necessarily the match? Like, I get wanting to have the teaser of the OK Corral gunfight that's going to happen. I almost wonder, why not just have, again, not to book Private Party off the show here, but and poo-poo in their few minutes of a match, but do away with the match. Have the Jericho bit where they're walking through and they're walking through the arena. They fireball somebody. Maybe they push somebody else. They just go through a gauntlet of people backstage. So they get on the they get out in front of the live crowd, keep trash talking, and then just have Moxley and Kingston come out. I mean, and again, just Anarchy breaking out. I mean, I don't really think there was need that, we need to have a match in order to get Moxley and Kingston out. I mean, I just, I don't know. Just again, kind of, and that would have reduced it from being 10 pounds to maybe 6 pounds.
There you go. Yeah, but 6 pounds in a 5-pound bag is a lot easier to handle than 10 pounds. Let's put it that way.
But nonetheless, I do think this will be fun to watch Sunday. I pity the director for having to keep up with the camera cuts and the find and not to miss anything major when you have this many guys. I hope the quality control is there in terms of anything big is communicated to production ahead of time.
Exactly. And I won't go into the obvious joke about the fact that there are no rules in this match, so don't have to worry about the referees enforcing them. But anyway,
you say that, but this next match ended in a DQ.
Yes.
So,
which is rare. Let's put it that way.
Very rare.
Yes.
Very rare.
For the show, anyway.
So this is the where we get the Ring of Honor portion of the show. Caprice Coleman's on commentary, as well as Bobby Cruz, a ring announcer. So some Ring of Honor flavor being represented, and this is where we're going to see Roppongi Vice, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta up against the ROH Tag Team Champions, which are the top guys. And so this match is going on. It's got some competitiveness to it, and then all of a sudden, we see these two individuals. We see Jeff Cobb and the Great O'Khan. They're called United Empire and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And they just start to destroy and hit everything that moves.
Right.
You're putting people through the timekeeper's table, just obviously completely wrecking this match. Ref throws the match out. And the idea is they're from New Japan. They're in an ROH match. They're beating up ROH tag champions, but also these tag champions are also AEW talent. So it is really a teaser for the forbidden door of 3 promotions intersecting into one. On paper, I love it all on paper. I like the idea. I get, hey, if you're going to take one segment and kind of pivot from the AEW brand and do your other investments, do your other cross promotions, I get it on paper. I think I've always thought Jeff Cobb looks the part. What I saw of the Great O'Khan, and I don't know if it was whatever, it wasn't like he tried to do this big claw and throw Trent through a table off the apron. We saw Trent just basically having to jump out of Okan's. Hey, I don't. It was a little. I was a little not sure how to feel about this, but on paper, I got what they were trying to do.
No, absolutely, and yes, I like the fact that they are trying to put over the ROH brand as well. But like you said, taking up prime TV time, is it the way to go? I'm still on the fence with that one because you've got that is a property of yours. Tony Khan is now, the proud owner of ROH, but maybe they've got something planned in the future for ROH to have their own show somewhere other than on social media. Yes, I know people are saying, well, that's where the, like online is the wave of the future, but still TV is king right now. And there needs to be at least a possible syndicated show like they used to have.
I try to watch. I try to watch and the portion of the crowd who knew who these guys were and understood it. They were very vocal about it. But I'm watching the fans. I'm watching the people in the crowd, and there's half of them that were standing there not sure. They're like, "Am I supposed to know?" Obviously, the benefit of watching on TV is you have you have Excalibur and the commentators trying to give you a quick lesson. I guess again on paper, I understood what they're trying to do. I guess I question why this episode. Why, when you're 4 days out from your pay-per-view on Sunday, do you feel the need to why? Like I don't know. Like again, this is a segment that could have been utilized for something else related to what you're trying to sell in 4 days. The Forbidden Door, the tickets already sold out for that show at the United Center. It's not your next pay-per-view you need to push. So I don't know. Maybe it's how the logistics works out. Maybe Jeff Cobb and the Great O'Connell were able to get to Vegas on this day and they can't get to wherever Dynamite is next Wednesday. So maybe it was just a logistical thing. But I did question, like, that's a strange thing to do on a go-home show for pay-per-view that these guys will have nothing to do with the pay-per-view.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then why not save something like this for Friday's Rampage instead of your live show that's on Wednesday night, which is, like we said, your go-home show for the pay-per-view Double or Nothing, not Forbidden Door. So, that could have been done elsewhere, or even on they promote Dark so much. I get it. These are big names from New Japan Pro Wrestling, but at the same time, like you said, half the audience felt like we're questioning who they were. Oh, who are these guys again?
Yeah, I mean, visually they looked good. Again, I've always been a huge fan of Jeff Cobb. Visually they look good, but the double team thing they tried to do a little off time and looked a little sloppy. The claw, so I wanted to like it, but I can't say that I really did, or I was just more or less confused, as I said, with the question that I've just thrown out there.
No, absolutely.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe they'll have some relevancy to Sunday's pay-per-view, and that's why they had to get them out there tonight. I don't know.
Hopefully.
We'll see. I'll tell you what. I love this promo. Pre-tape backstage. The Hardys. They're pumping up their match against the Young Bucks Sunday, and this promo was just fire by Matt and Jeff, who, as the Hardy Boys, as a tag team, promos aren't normally what you think of them for. Matt has made quite a name for himself in all of his evolution of characters, cutting really entertaining promos as those characters. But as just Matt and Jeff, the brothers, and as being a tag team right now, promo's not normally the big strength for them, but I thought they really knocked this one out the park. As basically they talk about some similarities between them and the Bucks, how they both were raised, where they come from, a few things like that. But then they say this with a similarity stop, because they talk about how, the Hardys say when they broke in the 90s, and Jimmy, you were there, it was a different business, different culture, different expectations, different obstacles, tougher locker room, tougher, a lot of things in that regard. And they overcame it, and they're still middle-aged and extreme versus the Bucks. They would never even been able to hang in that time. Hardys, again, calling them cosplay Hardys, and this Sunday, the Hardys are going to cement their legacy as the legit goats. What'd you think, Jimmy?
No, I enjoyed that promo very much, and listening to Jeff talk, and knowing Jeff, it's coming from a place inside, and it's almost like there was some realism. If you know what I mean, when it feels real, and it felt real coming from Jeff, that he honestly felt that way. And it translated well to the audience. I think the audience bought into it, and Jeff's an underrated speaker. When he's given the opportunity to go, Matt can really talk. Jeff's a little more not as boom in your face with promos, but Jeff can also cut a decent promo. But Matt is a great talker and underrated, in my opinion.
This match Sunday between these two teams, again, we've said it before, not the first time they've ever been in the ring, but this is the biggest stage they have.
Yeah.
This match could be, I could see the Hardys in a dangerous, we're going to leave it all out there kind of mindset. And just a few weeks ago, we had them here at IWC Wrestling where they won the tag titles. After the show, we're standing there with the promoter and the Hardys, and we're just talking, catching up, and just, and Jeff's even talking, like this one more ride, this one last ride with my brother. We're on national TV, and you can just see the excitement. They really have a lot of positive to say about their time in AEW. And and it really just kind of hit me. I was like, wow, this really could be, because look, they did the big comeback at WrestleMania and did one more WWE run. So that's, is there anything else they're going to have to do in WWE? Probably the next time we see them on WWE TV is probably on a Hall of Fame stage. So is there anything else they need to do to WWE ring? Probably not. No. So here they are, probably their last company and run on national TV, at least as a tag team. This could be the last big match that they have. If depending on how this match is booked, if this is a one and done, which I suspect it is, they might have some other cool tag teams that could work in AEW, but this could be the last big match potentially. Pay-per-view in Vegas against yourselves of the current generation, so to speak.
Right.
Of course they are going to be, the Hardys will be, they're going to be as safe as the Hardys can be, but I could just see them having a mindset of, what? Do we want to do it? Hell yeah, we're going to do that spot because this might be the last time that
leave it all out.
That's kind of what leave it all out. That's kind of what I'm feeling here.
No, it's kind of what I was feeling from that promo as well. It sort of came across that way. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting. You said you mentioned, how this match is booked. And I think when you have minds like Matt and Jeff Hardy, who have been through a lot of, like they've worked with some of the greatest tag teams ever, Edge and Christian, obviously the TLC matches and the Dudleys and so on and so forth. Matt has a great mind for psychology, and as long as they're working for the match and working for that story and not working for the one spot, because sometimes the young guys tend to work for a spot as opposed to working for the end game, the goal. They want that pop. No, tell that story because that story will get the pop. As long as I think Matt should have a lot of input into this. I think it be, from a booking standpoint and booking a match.
He told me that he always told me that whenever he did the TLCs, that each team had their respective speaker. He said it would be him, Edge, and Bubba.
Yeah,
that they were the three that they would and then they would go back to that the other partners would kind of follow their lead, so to speak.
Yeah, pretty much. And
you were a ref for many of those, all of them.
Yeah, and the other guys, not that they weren't heard. It's just that it almost felt like those guys were, the voice of the team. And anybody who knows Christian, for example, knows what a great mind he is, and everybody knows that Jeff is. And Devon as well. Devon has been a producer now for how long? And some great minds there that can put extreme matches together. And Matt is very good from putting extreme matches together from a psychology standpoint as well. So hopefully I'm just hoping he has a lot of input into what goes on Sunday.
I mean, if I would hope.
Yes,
I would hope that everybody would turn and listen.
Yes,
Otherwise, what the hell are you having there for?
Exactly.
So we get a triple threat match here. Ricky Starks up against Swerve Strickland, up against Jungle Boy. Talk about a representative of each team. That's kind of what we have here. These three tag teams are going to take on each other at Double or Nothing. But here we kind of get the high flyers of each team going against each other. Tremendous athletic displays. This is your this is the best athletic display probably consistently of the night was this match and what these three guys could do. Ultimately, Swerve is going to get the Swerve stomp onto Starks to get the win. After that, all the heavies are going to come out. We're going to see Powerhouse Cops. We're going to see Luchasaurus. We're going to see Keith Lee. Keith Lee's going to go aerial over the top rope to take out some of his opponents for Sunday. So a nice creative way to sell and push to this triple threat tag match for the tag titles on Sunday.
No, in a way, yes, but at the same time, here we go again with the melee after the match where everybody gets involved. And yes, that dive over the top by Keith Lee was very impressive, but save that for Sunday. You know what I mean? That was something that could have been saved to Sunday. And you know, I mentioned earlier, working in a match, working for the pop, working for, you know, for a big move to get a pop as opposed to working for the match. That's what this felt like at times. Just like, okay, let's get him to pop for this. Let's do a big move here and get him to pop for this and pop for that and pop for this. But, you know, sometimes while impressive, still lacked for me from a storytelling standpoint.
Well, I mean, that's a fair point. You know, if he did that tonight, hopefully he's got something bigger to pull out on the big show. So on the big show Sunday. So, but yeah. We got Thunder Rosa promo. This I thought was a nice change of pace for Thunder Rosa. You know, she's out there doing the getting interviewed again, which is a good thing because I think having an interview out there, having Tony, having somebody there to lead you to ask you questions, to lead you into sound bites, a lot better for somebody who may not be as strong on a promo to have to just go out there and you know, on her own get these sound bites out. So I like that. She's out there, no war paint, she calls it. She makes mention of her real name, talks about how she used to look up to Serena, but she doesn't look up to her anymore. Sunday, the war paint comes back on, and a really nice promo, very deliberate sound bites, Jimmy. So that was good. It didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel like she was nervous. She knew what she wanted to say, but then a little production pofa, or I'm not sure, but something goes awry. She ends on what sounds like she just tagged her promo. They hit her music, but then she has more she wants to say, and she keeps trying to get it out. Now, Jimmy, you tell me, because again, you're the one that worked at the big stage for 20 plus years. Obviously, there might have been a miscommunication if somebody didn't know how she was in her promo, what the last line was, or what have you. However, even if so, if production starts to play your music, stop talking. And I heard the last like one or two sentences she tried to say. It wasn't even like anything that was that much more important or anything that was better than what she just said. And why I say stop talking, one, it looks sloppy because people are fighting to try to hear you, and two, you don't know. Maybe they hit the music because Bossman's telling them hit the music because we're running short on time. Right. So that was a little that kind of muddied the end of the promo. But everything before that I thought was a really nice piece of work by her.
Yeah, and also I like the fact that nobody ran out to create havoc afterwards as well. But you're right. See, the way what I'm used to seeing is when there was a promo segment, it was always someone from production that would come up and say to the person who's cutting the promo, okay, what is your out? What is the last thing you're going to say in your promo? As soon as you say it, we'll hit your music and then do your pose or whatever the heck you're going to do afterwards. And if they do by chance hit it early, and the person keeps talking while they hit the music, they will bring the music down.
Yeah.
Let them finish, and then they'll bring it back up. You know what I mean? So, like you said, possibly a miscommunication there, and or just maybe Thunder Rosa went into business for herself, and when the music hit, she said, I could add a few more things here. So I don't know what happened, but it doesn't, from a professional looking standpoint, it didn't look so good or sound so good.
Yeah. So we'll see. So we got her defending her title up against Serena Deeb this Sunday at Double or Nothing. We also got a women's match coming up here. It's the semi-final match in the Owen Hart Classic. Tony Storm versus Dr. Britt Baker. This one, these girls hitting hard, even to a point to where Tony Storm starts bleeding from the nose. At one point, Jamie Hayter comes out. Britt's a little, hey, I told you not to come out here. I don't need you. So she's not quite thrilled about that. But Jamie's going to prove to be a little bit of a distraction, but she's also going to get a stiff shot from Tony Storm as well. Finally, though, Britt is going to counter a move that Storm's trying to do, and she's going to counter it and able to pin her shoulders down while holding on to the rope. So in nice heel fashion, Britt does get the win. I saw on, I wasn't so surprised by this. Britt's, again, she's just she's the first woman they ever signed to the company. So, but a lot of people did on social media think that Tony would win this. That Tony, obviously the new arrival to the company, that this tournament would at least see her get to the final. But that did not happen. So Britt is going to the finals against the winner of Ruby Soho or Chris Statlander.
Right. No, I'm fine with that. And a heel winning in heel fashion. Wow, what a novel idea. It's interesting because we all know the relationship between Britt and one of the finalists in the men's side. So are they going to play into that? Are they going to mention it? Is it going to be a factor? Who knows? But I like the fact I'm still on the fence. I don't know, like for the Owen tournament, do I want a heel winning the tournament? But then again, it is pro wrestling / sports entertainment. So you can always work it in somehow.
Sure. Sheed Black had a super chat just saying the triple threat was the best thing tonight. Yeah. So again, definitely if you like a certain style of wrestling, you can check out again the Swerve.
Yeah, and she don't misread, because yes, there was a lot of fun stuff going on. It was entertaining. I'm talking from a different standpoint, from storytelling and logic. Yes, the stuff they did was impressive, looked good, looked cool. Got a lot of this, but I'm viewing it from a little bit different take too, as well.
Yep. Yeah, it's as we always say.
Yeah,
Dynamite, especially a buffet of everything.
Exactly.
Buffet of everything. So we're gonna see Britt versus the winner of Ruby or Chris Statler. I mean, I think Ruby's gonna win that match. I think it's gonna be Britt versus Ruby in the finals. And then I think that's it's up for debate of which route they go in,
right?
To who they crown as the first ever Owen Hart Memorial Women's bracket winner. So we'll see how that is going to unfold. So another reason to tune in to Double or Nothing. And then we get the semifinal match on the men's side. Samoa Joe up against Kyle O'Reilly. We know the winner of this is going to take on Adam Cole. And so we see Kyle. He's really working on Joe's arm. Joe's got his arm taped up and such. So that's kind of Kyle's avenue to try to get this victory here. Again, good match here. They gave it a little bit more time than they gave the main event last week. So that was nice. Didn't feel quite as rushed. They finish it with Kyle trying to do the O'Connor roll, but then transition from that, Joe catches him and gets him locked in to a submission sleeper, and Kyle O'Reilly passes out. So Samoa Joe wins, advances. He will take on Adam Cole, who does come out and end the show by staring down at Joe from the ramp, and they confirm Joe versus Cole, the first time these two guys have ever met, never before anywhere else. So that's a little extra something for this Owen Hart finals on the men's side.
Yeah, and as JR kind of said, this has the potential to be match of the year. These guys are that good. And I like the fact that when Cole came out, that's all it was. It was a little bit of a stare down, that face to face, one from the stage, the other standing in the ring. It's going to be me and you Sunday. And I bought in. Yeah, I like it. And to me, going into this match with Kyle and Joe, I thought whoever won this match, even though Joe wins the match, so if Adam Cole is the one destined to win the Owen Hart tournament and be the first ever winner, a win against someone like a Samoa Joe of that stature, that's a big win. But then again, there's also a story that could have been told with two guys who are basically on the same side, facing each other in the final, and Adam Cole being the leader of the group, de facto leader of the group, kind of looking for Kyle to lay down for him. Maybe there was a bit of a story that could have been told there, but I am looking forward to this match as well. This one should be sorry, JR, to steal the line, a real slobber knocker.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right there about the potential of what you could do with Kyle and Cole, but I think that would play in if we were at a different point, if they were ready to have those guys start to split. But I mean, obviously they just really got together here in the AEW world, so I think there's probably a lot more business to be done with them on the same side. And I think Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole, quite frankly, that's just a bigger marquee.
Oh yes, definitely.
So I'm totally all for that. So in the chat, Night One says Lars Fredrickson, who is the person who sings the song that Ruby comes out to from Rancid, basically said on his podcast last week that Ruby is going to wrestle at Double or Nothing against Britt, and he'll be there playing her out. So it looks like maybe Ruby's getting a little WrestleMania entrance type deal.
That's very cool. And maybe that's a little bit telling. I don't want to say that it's a dead giveaway, but at the same time, very interesting.
Very interesting. So that was AEW Dynamite from Vegas, again, starting the residency they have this week as a go home show for Double or Nothing. So I mean, as we ran down, there are plenty of things I think to look forward to, and how is this going to play out? Obviously, the Owen Hart tournaments, very interested to see. I mean, that's a huge deal, and how they what do those winners do after that with that? When we've seen obviously in past tournaments and such, if you win a King of the Ring, you're using that as clout and bragging rights or what have you. So what is being an Owen Hart Memorial winner? What does that do to your booking and what have you? So
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they go forward with that. Obviously, like in the WWE, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy. Hopefully, it's nothing like that.
Yeah, they've done a better job at setting up the credibility for this one.
Yes.
All right, very good. And of course, we appreciate everybody with the comments. All right, I did. Somebody reminded me here. I did. So told you if you're still sticking with us, I'll show you the footage real quick. So this is just to set the scene. This past Saturday, we had like an ECW kind of a IWC wrestling. We kind of had like a nod to ECW. We're in the Ross Draver Ice Gardens, a building that ECW used to run, the original ECW. The Sandman was there. Bill Alfonso was there. There was some hardcore going on, and my guy Spencer Slade. Joining the long list of LaBar guys for RJ City to Wardlow to now Spencer Slade. He needed that big win to thrust him to be in title contention. He got that win against Rhino. Just unfortunately, Spencer got out of the ring a little bit too quickly after the match, and I didn't get out quick enough. And well, that's where we leave you here. There you go.
Okay.
Spencer Slade beat Rhino, and Rhino scored LaBar! Rhino just scored LaBar! Almost out of his shoes!
So there you go.
That is one big, thick shoulder. Let me put it to you that way. Well, you know.
I can't. I'll never be able to find the words.
I know.
When you see a guy that size moving at you that fast.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? Everybody says, well, the spear hit you in the midsection. Not with Rhino. It hit you like from chest to like your appendix. There's a lot of room he covers in that spear.
And somebody somewhere on social media where the clip is at, where I shared it, somebody made a comment like, oh, I see you took a nod from The Rock on selling there. And I didn't respond, but I wanted to say, guy's 300 pounds coming at me that quick. Like, that wasn't let me take the time to do an extra flippity flop. No, that's freaking momentum. That's physical momentum.
It's exactly what it is. Yeah, people don't get that sometimes.
I mean, I don't there's some things that just happen. I was like, I don't
know. I love when they tell you, oh, that was a hell of a bump. I had no choice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh man. So there you go. So IWC Wrestling, go to the IWCWrestling.com, check out the shows. You never know what's going to happen at an IWC Wrestling show. And again, IWC Wrestling, where Wardlow started, where Britt trained and started, Britt Baker, where Ezekiel trained and started. A lot of
both of them.
I did see. I mean, I definitely saw Elias around. I think as Ezekiel would sneak in and out. The younger brother, so he still had school and class and such. Like that. Mia Lee says, Jimmy, how was it being around Trish and Lita? My faves. What was it being around Trish and Lita, Jimmy?
You know what? It was awesome. They had a great rivalry, and watching Trish, grow into the superstar she became when she first entered the WWE to when she exited WWE. Yeah, man, she grew leaps and bounds, and Lita is just awesome. So, it was fun watching them work together. That's for sure.
Trish Stratus, fellow Toronto royalty like yourself.
Yeah, well, I don't know about myself being royalty, but Trish definitely is, because she was host of a show up here, Canada's Got Talent.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was one of the judges.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
She's doing like fitness now, right? I think is that what she's?
Well, she has a fitness
or a brand, or
brand.
Yeah.
Trish
Stratus, Lita, of course. I mean,
and also a fellow Greek.
Trish Stratus.
Yes,
she's Greek.
She's Greek descent. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you fell from a pretty good tree there. Toronto royalty, Greek descent, WWE legends.
Yeah. Well, I need you as my pro.
You don't got to be humble, Jimmy.
I need you as my PR guy. That's for sure.
Well, I'm Spencer Slade's PR guy. It comes with a little bit of hazard pay, I think.
Yeah. Well, with me, at least, I don't think you have to worry about a spear anyway.
I have to worry about you counting 3 after I get speared.
There you go.
All right. That's going to do it for the podcast here tonight. Thanks to everybody again.
If I could interject here, according to Bernie DC, breaking news: Rampage will be airing at 6:30 p.m. on Friday on TNT.
Yes, so you know. Thank you, Bernie.
Due to the hockey.
Yeah, that's right. They had to wait till the hockey game's finished here tonight so they could decide what time slot it would be on. So thank you, Bernie, for being on top of that. He's kind of like our news correspondent that's keeping an eye while we're here locked in in the studio.
Roving reporter.
Yeah. Yep, that's Bernie. As always, make sure you tweet at Jimmy Korderas, at Justin LaBar. Always love to hear where are you in the world? What time is it when you're watching the podcast, or are you listening live after the fact? What's some of your favorite moments? Whatever. It's great to hear the feedback. For you engaging with this podcast. Like, share, comment, tell a friend, do what you got to do. Helps keep this thing growing. I'll be back on next Monday after Raw. I will not be here next Wednesday, so it will be Jimmy and mystery opponent. But I will be back in 2 Wednesdays, so don't fear there. As always, thanks to all of you in the chat. Thanks for the super chats, Jimmy. Thank you. Talk to you in 2 weeks. Have a good night, everybody.